Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Wingate Solutions. I hope you're doing well. Today's video, we're going to be testing out this Odin Works 18-inch rifle length 3-gun profile barrel. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to talk about this barrel for a second, then we'll get shooting. So these Odin Works barrels come in a few different flavors, right? So different gas system lengths, different contours. So hopefully I can kind of help you guys if you're unsure of what you're looking at getting. So this is the 3-gun rifle length 18-inch. It's kind of what I like. They also offer the intermediate length gas system. I'm not really as big of a fan of an intermediate length gas system on an 18. You may be, but I like a rifle length 18-inch gun just because the whole point of going 18 is to get a little bit more velocity and also have a really smooth shooting rifle length gas system. So I know nothing about their intermediate length as far as what the gas port size or anything like that is. It may be a really, really nice shooting gun, but just look into that. Make sure you pick the gas system you want. There's also 2 contours to make this in this. The 3-gun profile, which is more of a medium weight contour barrel, tapered profile, going to be handier. May not be the choice for going extreme precision. That would be the SPR profile barrel they offer. That's going to be a heavier profile barrel, kind of a general SPR profile. I like this 3-gun profile so far just for the maneuverability of it. It's got a nice weight to it. It doesn't feel like there's a ton of weight on the end, especially if I'm not running the can on it, where the SPR profile is going to have a lot more meat on it. But that's going to be better for precision stuff. So take that for what it is. Pick which one you want, either 3-gun profile or SPR profile, and then rifle length or intermediate length. It's kind of going to depend on what your end purpose is for that build. This is 416R stainless steel. That's a good, generally accepted, precision-oriented barrel steel. So I like that. If I'm looking to build a precision rig, stainless steel is kind of the way to go. Obviously, with exception, it's a guideline, not a rule. There's a lot of chrome line cold hammer forged barrels out there that are tack drivers. It's just generally these ones are going to be more geared towards precision than a chrome line, but it all depends. So do a little bit of research if you guys are kind of new to barrel steels. So let's get into the test. I'm going to keep this pretty simple, just like my Black Series Hansen video I did the other day. I'm just going to do 100 yards, 5-round groups with a few different types of ammo, just to keep costs down for me. 10-round groups are even better, but at minimum, I think you need to be doing 5. So we're going to do 5 today. We'll be testing 75 grain AAC, 75 grain Hornady Frontier. We have 69 grain ADI Sierra Match King, and just run-of-the-mill XM 193 55 grain. I will also do a group with a suppressor on at the end, just to test the point of impact shift with the 75 grain AAC. In case that's something you guys are looking into, this being a medium weight profile barrel, it may have a little bit more of a point of impact shift. Generally, that's what I see. The longer the barrel, skinnier the barrel, the more point of impact shift you're going to have. It's also going to be dependent on the can itself. So I'll give you guys a little bit of one specific data point on that, just because it's simple and I'm out here and I have a can with me. But anyway, let's get into the test. All right, guys, I apologize. I don't have a second camera down there to watch the shots as I'm shooting. I'll shoot and then we'll go down, we'll check out hits when we're done. If you want to just jump right to the end to look at the group sizes, I'll talk about them on camera at the end. So you can always do that if you're trying to get through this video pretty quick. I understand. Not all you guys want to hear me talk or just watch me shoot. But anyway, I'm at 100 yards. I got 1-inch pasties down there. I'm going to start with the 75 grain AAC. It's kind of my go-to round for a lot of this stuff now. I think it's a good price point, pretty dang inexpensive for a 75 grain Hornady bullet, loaded by AAC. It's Palmetto State Armory, if you guys aren't aware of that. It's a good, cheap alternative for like a precision-oriented round. I really like them. So that's going to be kind of my control group. I have 6 rounds in the gun because the first one is going to be cold bore. It's still going to be part of the group, so we'll go down and look at it. I'm going to remember exactly where it was, and then I want to see the 5 rounds where it's a little warmed up. I also want to see where that cold bore hits out of this gun on this particular day. So it'll be a little bit of a data point for you guys. So that's why there's going to be 6, and then we will move on to the next one. All right, let's get shooting. This will be the top left target. All right. Cool. Move on to the next one. All right, up next is the 75 grain Hornady Frontier ammo. Another good one, a little bit more expensive than the AAC. This will be top right. All right, so that one shot pretty good. So as you guys can see, if I didn't speed it up, I'm not sure if I'm going to at this point. I'm not shooting super slowly. I'm just kind of shooting at a general pace where I'm getting good enough accuracy. So take that for what it is. This isn't like the most precise test, not in a lead sled. I'm kind of shooting a little bit quickly. I'm also not giving this barrel a ton of time to cool down between groups. I don't think it's a big deal because I'm only shooting 4 or 5 groups out of it. So we'll see if that affects it. If it does, I apologize. Also, this trigger is the Palmetto State Armory. I think it's the Saber 2-stage trigger. It's made by Schmidt Triggers. Really light break on it. It's almost surprisingly light compared to what I'm used to. My go-to is typically the LaRue MBT. I think that has a perfect break for me. This is really nice. Just a little bit lighter than I'm used to. I don't think it's affecting me negatively, but just something I wanted to say. So cool. Moving on. All right, up next is the 69 grain ADI Sierra Match King. Good round, generally shoots pretty well out of most of my guns. This will be bottom left target. All right. Yeah, that stuff shot pretty dang well. Definitely the best group so far. And like I kind of said, I'm not shooting very slowly. I'm kind of shooting at my pace that I feel like shooting today. I'm not taking forever. Reticle's there, kind of pressing the trigger. So take that for what it is. Still gives me a general idea of what this barrel can do. But let's see. Yeah, 69 grain shot very well, so I'm excited to get down and check that out. It generally shoots pretty good in most of my guns, but as you guys can see, I'm not taking my time on these shots, so not an excuse, just is what it is. This is me kind of shooting fast-paced groups because I don't really feel like sitting out here forever. I'm not unstable in this position at all. I mean, I'm bipod in a bag. I'm getting about an inch, well, less than an inch. I'm keeping the reticle on the 1-inch pasty, and I have a little bit of a wobble, right? I'm not so solid today that like I'm not adding any variable into the gun. So just take that into consideration when we go down and check these groups out. There's definitely negative effect from me, the shooter. Cool, but that was a really nice group. I'm happy with that. All right, this is the 55 grain XM193. I think this is Independence ammo. Yeah, I pulled out an old case ammo I had. It's like 12 or 14-year-old ammo. Not that affects it, but it's something I've had for a long time. I think it's Independence. I think it's like an Israeli version of Federal XM193, pretty much. If I remember correctly, it might be loaded by Federal. I don't remember. All right, this will be lower right. Cool. About what I expect. All right, and the last group for today before we go down is the 75 grain that I started with, the AAC. But I threw my Turbo K on the front, so it's suppressed now. It's off frame. I'm sorry I didn't move the camera. I figured I'd just leave it where it's at, but I got my Turbo K on the front. I now have 21 rounds through the gun, so it's a little bit warmer. Shouldn't affect it at this point. It is a little bit stouter of a profile. I'm not expecting much of a variable from that. There may be. We'll go down and check when we're done. But I just want to see what the point of impact shift is from that first group of 75 grain to now having the can on, just so I can see how much it is. For if I was going to try to shoot this gun suppressed and unsuppressed, I'd have to take that into consideration as far as where I'm going to zero the gun. So if that makes sense to you guys. So point of impact shift test with the Turbo K. We're going to go with the center target. Yeah, do it. Runs a little gassy with that can. Still feels fine, but I could definitely tell brass is kind of barely ejecting out the front there. So, and there's a little bit gassy to my eyes, but all right, definitely a little bit of an impact shift. We'll show you guys in a second. All right, let's look at these groups real quick. So this right here is the 6-round group that I started with. This one that I'm covering up with the measuring tape is actually my cold bore. This one up here, I don't feel like I affected the round that much. So it could have been me, could have been a combination of me and it being a round that was loaded a little hot, a little bit spicy. Also me interacting with that trigger. Like I said, it's a Primary Arms Saber 2-stage made by Schmid Tool. Fantastic trigger so far, but it is a little bit lighter than I'm used to. So it could have been that a little bit, but I definitely do not feel like I pulled it that far. But anyway, taking that into consideration, it is a 2-inch group. So I think it's like 1.25 inches if I just measured these 5. But like I've said in other videos, I shot it. That's the group size I got. So for the data point today of me, the individual shooter, that's what that ammo did. I don't like to take away flyers because it absolutely might have been the barrel interacting with that specific round. So, you know, is what it is. This one's a little interesting. This is a 75 grain Hornady Frontier. I only count 4 rounds. I can't tell if there's a 5th round right here. I looked on the back of the cardboard. I still can't tell. I'm going to have to look back and see if I shot 5 rounds or not. There is no way. I'm going to confidently say there's no way I missed the paper. That group felt really good. Considerably, I mean, within 1 inch. Like I definitely wasn't yanking rounds. I was pretty dang stable. So I'll have to see. I think there may be 2 rounds right here. I guess that's the problem with me not having a camera down for here for you guys to watch. But anyway, those 4 or 5 rounds, whatever it is, are a little bit over 1.25 inches. I would say 1.3, 1.4 max. Man, 1.3. So I'm all right with that. And let's go right here. This is the 69 grain ADI Sierra Match King. It seems to like this round just from at least this one group. I'm going to say that's probably the furthest. And I'm going to measure that at right around 0.8. And I'll do this one just to kind of sure. This is just me being crude with the measuring tape. I mean, just so you guys have something. And yeah, you know what? Close to 1 inch, 0.9 maybe, right there. And then here is 5 rounds of just XM193. Kind of what I'd expect out of it. Under 2 inches. Yeah, 1.8 maybe for those 5 rounds. It's kind of what I expect out of that ammo. It's a little bit of a point of impact shift though from that 55 grain compared to the others, which are generally kind of in the same area, like this group and this group. For depending on what we're doing, depending on how far I'm shooting, and even this group, I still will be able to make hits at different distances. Until we're splitting hairs, shooting real small targets. Like I'll be able to get the job done at certain size targets out to, a little bit of distance with those rounds. This one as well, but obviously with a pretty significant point of impact shift between them. That's something to consider. You're definitely not going to be able to zero it for like one round and then just shoot 5 or 6 different rounds and expect to make hits a difference. So that at distance rather. And then this was the 5 rounds I did with the Turbo K. It's like a 3-inch point of impact shift between the first group and this one. So unsuppressed 75 grain AAC, suppressed 75 grain AAC. Not the best group, about 1.5 inches. Yeah, about 1.5 inches group. So that is what it is. Again, with me being the variable of kind of shooting a little quick, I'm not a precision shooter by any means. So this is just take it for what it is. Data point of just today on this barrel. All right, guys, I hope you got something out of that. I know it's kind of a simple test, and it's not a end-all test for this barrel. I don't want you to take just my couple of rounds of firing with my own human error involved and think that's like the end-all reflection of what this barrel can do. It definitely needs more testing. I just know there's not a lot of testing out there for it, so I figure I'd do it for you and for my own purposes. So hopefully you got something out of it. But if you like the video, enjoy this content, please consider subscribing, hit that thumbs up like button, and share it with your buddies. And comment down below. I really enjoy reading it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see in the future. And, if you want to support us in any other way, please consider checking out my website, link down in the description. My wife and I have a very small business. We make handmade 2-point rifle slings and sling retention straps and some other goodies. So if you want to support a small American-owned company, please consider going over to our website. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate you. Till next time, get out and train.